Welcome back to the show. I found the perfect match. Why is this sponsored? It knows what I'm willing to pay. That's not shopping. That's an auction.
Welcome back to the Fourturamas podcast. I am Joe Catt here with Chris, Costas, Roberto. And we got Angie in the background running our sound effects and our soundboard.
Wow.
Even bigger applause. It's like we're gonna keep this going.
Editing process is gonna be hell.
Telling them to sit down. Telling everybody to calm down in the back.
I mean, oh my God.
You know, we should load the fact pack of the cartoons from Warner Brothers, like Tom and Jerry.
But,
so we're back. Oh God, no! Please stop! Don't do that. Seriously, the editing is gonna suck. So I'm just sparingly.
taking notes on the time.
Contextual images. That's the key thing, I think. So talking about topic and having the image, referring to the topic, that will be amazing.
Yeah. So we got our own Jamie. We got our own Jamie from like Joe Rogan does. So I'm excited.
Just for you, Costas.
I will say nothing the entire time. So what we got today there, Joe? You gave us a big list. We were supposed to check it twice. I didn't check it once. I don't know what we're doing. Where do we start? Oh, we were talking about Apple before we came on the air. There could be an Apple-rich episode if we want to. I got lots of stories. I think we have a lot of Apple stories.
Yeah, Apple seems to, everybody else gives like a chatbot with AI, right? Apple seems not to go the way. When they have a Siri, they should become better, but they are adding AI into all the small applications that they offer. So now every application inside the Apple system is going to be, AI powered in order to become better and more strong. So it's a different approach compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I was thinking about how, when Apple came out, it was all about convenience. Like everybody's trying to sell AI chatbots, how to integrate stuff, but people just wanted fewer annoying tasks. That's why Apple succeeded. But I think that's that's how they'll take over the future AI market. I think they're trying to see the further future because they were already so far behind with AI. So I actually think they're closing a gap, even though, we had a negative idea of AI with Siri in the past.
What makes Apple very intriguing to me is the UI. So it's like compared to PC, it's much more streamlined. To me, at least, it seems easier to use. It's like visually more appealing, more simple, more minimalistic. I mean, I can't say much about the old versions, but now they get better and better. So I think their philosophy of like minimalist, kind of philosophy, they do that with the AI. So they don't so in other words, I'm thinking that hopefully they're not going to just flood the system with their AI, all that stuff, but do it so it's just like they do with the icon. So it's more easier to work with. It's not as intrusive. It's, you know what I mean?
I was just going to say, especially for a company that is usually on the leading edge of innovation, they almost took a more cautious approach to this and said, wait, we're going to see how things kind of pan out, how the tech develops a little bit. And that way they can, I think, integrate it a little more efficiently. So I think this is their play. And I think that actually puts them ahead of the game instead of just putting slop together that's not what they're known for. They want something to be clean and sophisticated, all put together.
Yeah,
I would say Apple is a little bit behind with, meaning many other more crude way of implementing with Android like this. They had really frontier things always there, but not integrated properly, not elegant, not super safe. Apple is 5 to 10 years behind on technology in terms of super cameras rather than, but as something that a 1 year old can use. So it's really approachable by everybody. It makes sense. There is not things that you need to get lost to, but it works in the terms. And I wonder with AI, they waited, I think, and watched other to learn from their mistakes and then choose the correct approach that will make sense for everybody.
What
In terms of operating system for computer, because in the iPhone, in an iPad, is quite obvious because you can forcefully put it somewhere in other places, right? When it comes to operating system of a computer, it's more difficult because it has a set of things that need to be there. So you need to have a little lower level control of the machine. I saw so many other perplexity. Computer is the things that they're pushing the most. Now, today, Anthropic with Claude is giving double tokens, let's say, limit for the coworker. That is their computer, pretty much. Means that things like how AI control the machine and reorganize your file, does things for you on the computer, right? Apple is not yet coming out with this. They're going to be soon the next version of operating system, in which I'm sure they're working on very hard. They will make the full machine AI integrated, so killing all these computer co-work from other vendors, but having Safari that the AI can control it directly to go around, do things like we do with plugins, browsers, and their operating system as well. So, yeah, I
a
don't know.
couple
What's your take?
couple of things come to my mind. First of all, everybody buys an iPhone because of the camera, but now it's all Samsung devices for the cameras. So that's already like Apple's not building their own products, right? They're implementing other products into their devices, which is one thing, and that's their competitor as well. So you're making your competitor money. And then the other thing is, how many people bought an iPhone because they wanted better operating systems? Nobody.
Mhm.
Like, that's not why they bought it. They just wanted something that
Mhm.
was simpler and easier to use. They're not thinking
Right.
better.
And isn't it better?
It's a different philosophy. So that it's like the Apple users are like, hey, just give it to me. I just want to use it, right? The Android users are more, or PC users are more like, they want to tinker with stuff. So there's a different philosophy, I think. And this is what I like about the not Apple approach, like the messy, because it gives opportunity for people to innovate, to explore, to mess up, to do things. Apple, I mean, I use Apple computers all the time. I've had three iMacs. Now I'm on no complaints. But it's like, in terms of innovation. So if Apple puts everything in the computer, it's like it's packaged. Like you can't mess with it. You can't play with it. It's like it is what it is, right? And that's it's like if you just want to go use it, great. If you just want to, but if you want to play and explore and innovate and all those things, then Apple is not the thing, So it's kind of like a pro con kind of thing.
The irony in what you just said, though, that you want to tinker with it. Also, they have the audience that doesn't want to tinker with it, where you want just the most basic functioning phone that works at all. That's Android. Like, maybe you don't want anything but to just answer the call and text. You might not even be tech literate. So it's interesting.
Wasn't Nokia the one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Are you talking about
That's
the brand? Oh, geez.
I see, like Android is Lego, Apple is Playmobil. So when you want to build your things or when you want something that is ready there for you. But yeah, after all, if I want to start hacking stuff, I have an Android phone. If I want to just use something safe, the Apple is there. I use what I need to use. I don't think we will use all the functionality that are in a phone. Nobody will do it. It will be insane, right?
But
Have you seen?
here's another thing though. But having the Mac, it's now easier for me to do things with Claude, with anti gravity, with all these tools. Like I don't know what it is. It's like I, I'm doing things I haven't done before, and I find it easier to do with the Mac versus I think
You,
if I had a PC. So I don't know.
you,
That's kind of a weird.
what says a lot too is, if you have a Mac, you usually use any other computer as your throwaway. Think about that. Like if you're not using a Mac, like that's probably your dedicated. I can damage it. Whatever happens to it's whatever, but not the Mac. Dude, I'll give you the best example. When I crashed on a motorcycle and I fell off it, I rolled on my shoulder because I didn't want my laptop to get crushed.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I had
Wow. You're like, shoulder surgery is going to be cheaper than buying a new MacBook.
Because they're very expensive or because they're very precious?
both, dude. All your data, your memory. All my old music was on my last hard drive, and I don't have it. So,
By the way, speaking of grandma, like I don't know if you've ever had to do tech support with one of your parents over the phone. You know, like that's the worst thing. I mean, it's like, I mean, you got to have patience of a saint to be able to tell Greek mom to like open the window. You know, it's like it's crazy. I mean, I was yelling at my mother, and she was yelling back at me because we're so frustrated with trying to figure out how to help her. But she had a Mac, dude. She had a Mac, and she had articles. She printed articles. She had like stacks of articles. I mean, that was her go-to. And the fonts were like this big because she had a hard time seeing. So you know,
this is a good example because love my mom, but when she says that she wants a new when she says that she wants a new laptop and that she would use it, I immediately think, you know how hard it's going to be to learn a Mac. I'm not going to tell you that, but it's a whole different ball game operating system. You know, it looks easier though, so I'll give them that.
Yeah, I think it's easier to use a Mac for people. I think PC trying to find it.
Costas face dictate the sound effect. Now, I think that the beauty of an Apple that is easy in the surface, but if you want to go down in the basement, you can do everything. You know, like you have a Linux machine that is quite powerful.
There's been so many instances where my friends with Apple devices would just excitedly say, "Oh, my phone or my device has this feature," and I'm like, "I've had that for 3 to 4 years with Android already." But I'm glad you're excited. But they act like because it's the perception that they've always been on the leading edge of technology that they are the pioneers in new features.
You know why it's so exciting? Because they had to wait overnight to get the first Apple. Don't do
Wow.
it. We're gonna have words, Angie.
But I think the real point here is that Apple may secretly understand consumers better than everyone else.
Yes, I think so. Except I'm gonna bring my story. Except for when I had an iPhone 3. I remember back in the day when I was a kid. I don't know. I tried to upgrade, and that thing turned into a brick, and I was so mad because I had to now buy the Apple 4. And that was when I was like, I will never buy an iPhone again. And that's when I switched to the dark side and I went to Android.
Apple has been accused of fake obsolescence, so battery goes down faster. As soon as the new model comes out, the previous model seems that not good enough. Suddenly,
maybe it's not the device. Maybe they pump in like
no.
signals into our minds.
Throttling.
Artificially caused, how they push the sales, which is unethical, just to say the least.
Or maybe the old phones know that they're on their last leg and they start to like, oh my god, they start to like, suffer like an old man,
Didn't they lose that case for slowing down their old phones to force people to upgrade?
Oh, yeah. Good.
I can't remember which company that was. Mm-hmm. Yep, they were like, "Oh, I can finally do this now. I've been doing it."
It's true, but yeah, it's like Apple said, stop making AI the product. They just want to focus on the outcomes, which I think makes a lot more sense. That's why I say they see the end goal and then they're just like reverse engineering from the future. Interesting.
Has it made their Siri or Assistant any more powerful?
I haven't
noticed any
upgraded.
advancements?
Intentionally, I haven't upgraded. No.
Okay.
There is a new Siri now, but there is Alexa. There is the dumbest thing ever. Always. I think that now this is a vision of the future. The new phones will be, you just touch it and there is a big things listening to you and then you say things, and this will be the interface through voice that's gonna do 90% of things. You don't even say the application you want to use. You can pick up, it says 750 times 24, and it's gonna give you an answer rather than We took picture at the birthday party of such place, and he's gonna find the photos. It's going to be like this. The interface to use the phone is gonna be just touch it and talk and hear the answer. Then when you want it, then the display is gonna show you the result or whatever is being activated. It's gonna be like this in the next 1 year.
Does that mean that? I mean, it's going to the place where AI is actually building as it's like you don't need apps anymore. So what's going to happen to the app store? Like if the
Uh,
AI is doing everything from scratch, do you need apps anymore?
No,
And
you
is
don't need
Apple
app. I think app is gonna stay there for a very long time. But
well?
Dude,
AI
It's a
knows which
moneymaker.
app to open. Which
dude,
app out.
it's a moneymaker because you shut off all the competition and you collect all of the data at the same time.
Maybe you know what the apps don't have anymore a user interface for people to use, but they have an AI interface. So the next app I'm going to develop is going to have 40% UI for the user and 60% all webhooks or APIs for the AI to interact with the application. So you can call functionality just through talking to the AI, and the UI UX you have on the application are going to be limited to the result set rather than the part of interaction that requires the human to do things.
Interesting. I'm thinking about middleman aspect,
So
but yeah, it also makes me think that, like, you know how railroads were the thing. If it feels like a parallel from that time period, where like AI is going to be what the railroad system was at the time. Does that make sense?
Like you talk about a monopoly of like there was like one. Was it like one company that owned the rails? So it was like a monopoly kind of sort of.
Well, steel companies, the coal miners, the landowners, like to think about what the railroads are actually known for. Who actually made the fortune is what I'm saying.
Oh, the people. I don't know who made the fortune.
That's what I'm saying is like the banks, landowners,
I was just going to say the
steel
bankers who
companies.
loaned out the money.
Yeah. So
Well, who made the money in the gold rush? Unbelievable.
that is a good point. But yeah, what if the future giants are just like the power companies or the fiber networks?
No, the people making the money are the people like selling the tokens to the
but
schlubs who think
Apple
they're making
Apple
money.
Apple is using Apple Intelligence, so new computer comes already with the right chips and local models. So
I feel
Apple is
like you're
actually working against the mechanics of outsourcing the processing of AI, unless it's a very big thing, though.
well, Costas. That was a good comparison because you basically said the shovel sellers, they're the ones that make the money, not the gold miners. You know.
That's right. So we're the gold miners thinking we're going to get rich on using AI tools.
Nvidia,
Meanwhile,
the chip
well,
stacks.
Yeah. So that's what I'm getting at. Those are the giants.
meanwhile, the people making the money is the people selling us the tokens.
Hmm. Yeah, all the processing and compute power.
It's a good one.
Hmm.
I'm gonna edit this track out so bad, dude. I got the power. There's gonna be like 5 tracks now, right? So we're gonna, anyways.
But then Costas's
Yeah, I
face is
think
gonna
that
be like in shock
the
with no
producer
sound.
part is
No, I
separated.
gotta edit myself out, bro. I'm just be like,
But yeah, what
You
else
guys
we
can
got?
make points and edits. She can hear us. So Angie, if you don't mind, you can use less sound effects during. Costas will have to edit a few that he's
That's-
but
it's so weird, dude. It's I'm getting used to the sound effects. I'm not expecting them, so when they happen, I'm surprised.
are there an option to turn down the master volume of the sound effects? Because I do think they're much louder than our voices. Is there like a master control on sound effects?
I could do it later. Don't worry about it.
If you press the button chat on the right side of the screen, you can see the chat. You can talk with the producer sadly.
I got a crazy story for
Okay,
y'all.
crazy story.
Someone is suing the U.S. for making them go without Anthropic's Fable 5 model.
I wonder why those companies. If I was Dario Amodei, I would move to Laos. I don't know, go to Cambodia. take one of those countries that they don't even see the the billions-dollar that Anthropic has is more the full value of the country.
But
Was the
isn't
time
that
that they say
easier?
Apple go buy Greece and still money left over for them. Go there, make the law that you need because the legislation there you can purchase with money, and set up your business there and offer to the rest of the world. Why you stay in the United States?
Okay. Yes, because you have a bigger market, but no, because then you exclude the US.
Because if you go there, but they're already excluding them. Is the government blocking Anthropic? So if you
That's
treat
kind
me
of
this way, I show you the middle finger, and I show you that the rest
you know
of
what
the
it's like.
planet has more
You
money
know what
than
it's
the
like.
US.
I think you're kind of right though, because if the rest of the world is using it, why wouldn't America have a defense in that aspect? If it's the most powerful one, right? They're going to adopt it too. And it's the same shit with all the AI companies trying to compete with each other. It's like, let's take this feature out. You know, it's a hazard to humanity, and somebody else is like, might as well use it. We'll get one up on everybody else if we have it.
No, it seems that removing that made America weaker to attack because the Chinese comes out already with models that are more powerful. When you remove something to somebody, you empower this person to create his own. Like they cut off from Swift. Swift is the messaging for banks, right? It's the equivalent of
Swift.
SMS for banks. It's a messaging system for banks. They cut off Russia and other enemies from Swift, so they cannot do international money transfer. Well, they created another one for themselves, and people is using it, and they're using it, and they're free. Actually, they're free from all the information collection that the United States was doing on transfer to Russia because they were controlling SWIFT, even if it's European business company.
Right. And then they resort to crypto.
It's a good thing if you're not the United States, but if you're the United States, it's not a good thing. There's obviously for the rest of the world, you're more you're cut off country, more power you give to them in a certain way.
It's spawning innovation in a way. Well, in the direct way, it's spawning.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, it's it's meant for bad, but it's actually a good thing.
Is that like the Streisand effect?
What is? Oh yes. Explain the Streisand effect for Chris.
Basically, you shut something down and it makes it a bigger deal than what it was before just by acknowledging it. Or
but where did that come from? So the story is Barbara Streisand. There was some aerial photos of Barbara Streisand's property, and so she wanted them deleted. She didn't want people to see her property.
Now it caused curiosity.
And then it blew up, and then so they called it the Streisand effect, which is
interesting.
Funny.
Interesting. I didn't even know that. The origin. Oh, good shit.
So she wanted privacy, and because she made a big deal of it, she actually had the opposite effect around themselves.
So the Streisand is just exactly what you described. So the Streisand effect.
I actually use that on the dance floor.
How?
I use the Streisand effect. So a lot of people think you got to start out with like the oldies and the classics to like get old people dancing first, but older people are very stubborn. They won't come out. They want to wait until all the kids are having fun, and then they're like, why am I not having fun? So I'm withholding the good music for them until a little bit later, until they demand it, and then they think it's their idea. So then it's kind of like the reverse Uno card to get them to come out to the dance floor.
You got it. And then if you have a Greek wedding, or if you have a wedding and your mom's Greek, she'll come up to the DJ with a tape of Greek music, and then she's like, play this or else. And then we have to.
I literally have like upbeat Greek tracks that hit my Spotify playlist sometimes because I've had the music ready for these Greek weddings, and they do try to use a tape. I'm like, you got to send it in advance. We just don't have cassette players that we bring with us now.
Oh my gosh, that's so
cassette players.
So you actually do. So you actually do Greek. So I need to send you a song. That's a famous song from my mom's islands. It's actually the most beautiful dance, in Greece. So if you don't have that, I don't know if you're even DJing. So.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sounds good. Send it on over.
Yeah. So if you play that,
I have a whole system to post the music you want. Cause
if you play that song, bro, and people in the know, they're like, "Oh, I'm serious, dude." Like That song is like everybody knows that song.
You send me your Greek song, and I'll show you my Greek song, and
Okay,
we'll see if it's the same.
that's
We see
okay.
which
Let's
one
go.
is longer.
Yeah,
Do you know the name of your Greek song?
it's nope.
Hey, okay.
That's
Before
crazy, dude.
before we get sidetracked, coming to the next story here. Meta got caught spying on its employees to train AI and then accidentally exposed the surveillance data internally. Did y'all hear that story?
Part of it.
The irony is almost industrial grade. Meta gathered employees' keystrokes, their clicks, their screenshots, prompts, and conversations to train AI systems, then reportedly left tens of thousands of data tables accessible inside the company. Their surveillance became the security breach. They immediately halted it, I think, like the next day this came out. They're like, all right, no more spying. Sorry, no more spying.
They
Mark
publicly said they
Zuckerberg,
would.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mhm.
Dude, but how many companies already do this? We just don't know, you know?
Right. I heard part of that story because Meta employees were disgruntled and morale is at an all-time low, and that kind of pushed them over the edge. They just had like a big cut in the workforce, and then
But they were getting
yeah. And to tie that in, someone said, "Oh, someone should send them a pizza party in the metaverse to like boost morale." I'm like, "Oh wow, a freaking fake pizza party, great."
That's awesome. But yeah,
It's like, isn't that the ultimate like meme? Like, you know, company makes billions of dollars, and the poor people, they get a pizza party, you know, like, and somehow what's weird is psychologically that actually like works.
well, cheese is addicting. It's more addicting than sugar. So yeah, it's like, but
I mean, you're mad at the company, they give you pizza, you're like, oh, this is fine, we're fine now.
But the irony is Meta's probably like, it's all good. We're going to automate the human work anyway. We got everything we need now, so don't worry about it. Y'all can go home.
Here's some pizza.
Wow, they already have it. But yeah, that's one of the things also when I text a family member that works at a Fortune 500, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't mention their work in their phone, or maybe I shouldn't bring up their boss or say anything negative, you know, just who knows what's being tracked. That's it's a crazy thought.
So if they're just now doing it to employees, do you think those same keyloggers are built into the app for end users?
That's a good point. I mean, I feel like it's a given. You're using our platform, right? It's probably some terms of requirement we've already agreed to.
Exactly. Do you read the small prints when you approve and accept term and condition?
What happens when Apple puts the AI in the computers? You know, is there any privacy? Does it collect all your data? I mean, because it has to like understand what you're saying, right? Just like AI, we're using AI, we put instructions in there, it reads it, right? And then it.
But the difference is that when you use your cloud and things, the data that you type goes to their data center.
Bro,
Apple is using local chip, so it stays in the computer. Well, you can just try by putting a completely offline computer, you know, just don't connect to any Wi-Fi, turn off Bluetooth.
But then it downloads it. As soon as you plug it downloads it, just like they do in Russia. As soon as you plug into the system.
But imagine you're using Google, you type in the words FTC report, you type the word regulator or the word whistleblower, you just get tackled at your desk. Boom. We're watching. Don't you dare hit that button.
You get like a notice, or you get pizza, or you get like a pink slip.
Right before you hit enter, just like, hey, there's pizza in the break room, a little pop-up.
To distract you. You come back, there's a box with your stuff in it.
Oh my god. Your laptop's all parted out in front of you on the desk.
That's diabolical. That
is crazy.
That's, you know, it's funny. My dad had this job in Wales, working in the semiconductor industry, and it was a horrible place. And he said to me, the most dramatic thing to see is like somebody getting fired, and they would escort, like the two security guards would escort this person to like the security shack outside, you know, by the gate, and then they would bring his box of stuff to them. You know, it was like very like hardcore and very traumatic. Oh my god, dude.
Damn.
That was like, you know, in the 80s, they were kind of harsh.
The procedure that is used to now also nowadays in many companies depends on the security level of the company. That's why Edward Snowden managed to sneak out a lot of information in very smart manners, or Chelsea Manning also did that. So
While we're on the meta topic, first of all, it's crazy that Mark Zuckerberg made billions already, right, with Facebook. Now, here's the news story. Meta's building a prediction market app to challenge Polymarket and Kalshi. Bro, you already got billions of dollars and you're like, yeah, but we need a prediction market. So my first thought is, how much data do you have to be that confident in that company right there? That idea, you must know a lot about people, you
I
know,
mean, if
behaviors.
all the behaviors they know, I mean, that's how can they serve like ads? How can they like target people with ads? You pay them and then they target people because they know everything. Everybody's logging in their freaking you know sandwiches and their days out and they're sitting on the bathroom, whatever it is. We talked about this last time. There was this girl that was like started getting ads for pregnancy ads because it predicted like what she was searching and what she was doing. She was pregnant. She didn't even know she was pregnant, and then she started getting like offers.
That targeting ad system is so good though. And 10 years ago, it was really good. So I can imagine now, like if you just choose one topic, bro, it's genuinely showing your videos and posts to people that really are interested. That's crazy. It used to just be guessing. It used to have an idea of who wants to see it. Now it's like for certain, here's your audience.
And with AI, once you log into it, you can connect it through an API or create an app, a Facebook app, and developer, and then you can customize your ads to what's happening. So you can do the research, find out what's going on, who you want to target, and it
But
finds it for you, and then you can do that, and then you create a loop where it learns. So yes, it's in the Facebook ads, but you could do it through your Claude or your anti gravity or whatever, which is
was it
amazing.
was it Meta or was it Google that was like targeting search results based on political affiliation to like convince you to lean one way? Do you remember?
Well,
Oh,
I
I
that
think
think
was that was
Cambridge
Facebook with,
Analytica.
yeah, Cambridge Analytica.
so. What's to stop them from doing that with prediction markets to make people believe that people are thinking a certain way, even if it's not
Mm-hmm.
true? That's fucking scary. I don't
They
know.
Mm-hmm.
could they could totally do it.
Right.
So are they making money because the people are betting on the predictions? Is that
a
what they're
prediction
doing?
market are an extension of betting on things that are not secure in the result. Like in prediction market, somebody says, in this game, somebody's gonna run in the field, and then he went to run in the field himself to make his prediction real, right? So
Well,
is there? Because it is open, right? So it's a little bit silly. There are a lot of inside jobs
see,
that make the prediction become true, or people that know things. So it's really a good, powerful spying tool if you know who is saying what. But for
Okay.
the people that actually use, like in a dumb manner, it's just a way to lose money.
Okay, my mind's kind of blown. So we talked about money. It might not be about money after all, because it says would not bet actual money, but would rather be rewarded via a video game point like system. And it makes me think, if there's certain users on the platform that are, wow, they're guessing everything correct and they're predicting actual trends, that user's data becomes super valuable. You probably want to know what they interact with, what they believe, what they study, why are they like that, how do they know so much. That's super valuable data.
dude, it's like the thing we're talking about with the back in the day where they were testing the kids with the sound effects, with the frequencies,
Yep.
right?
Gate.
The gateway, right? So now you just said the same thing. So they find people who are good at predicting stuff. They put things in front of them, and they're basically testing everybody to see who's got what. I mean, that's like, am I crazy to think that?
I mean, it makes sense, but that's kind of scary prediction
The
power.
government is hiring people with remote viewing powers, and they use prediction market in order to filter them out.
It's like the
It's pretty covert. It's very covert. So
it's like using lava lamps at what do you call it? Who uses lava lamps?
My auntie?
No, what is it's
No, there is a company that is
for the
called.
passwords, encryption, right?
No, no,
That's what it was
yeah,
for.
it's for an encryption system. for Cloudflare.
Cloudflare. Yeah. So we become the lava lamps because we're kind of maybe unpredictable. So they use, you know, you know.
Wasn't there just a big scandal with the bigger poly market prediction market? They were having influencers create fake wins, fake bets that they were winning. So it's creating this big influence of people who think they can win big, placing these predictions. And just as Roberto shared, it's the outcome or the validity of the outcome isn't guaranteed, but neither is many other things. But there are structures and regulations in it. It's a next step in gambling.
Is a dumb one because it's unregulated. So you cannot call it inside job even because it's not a stock market. It's CoffeeZilla covered a few of those cases actually. It's quite interesting.
Or maybe it's a way to find out who's got a devious mind.
Dude, the most obvious one where it's rigged is when it's like, artist, will they release an album between this day or after this day? And it's like, bro, why wouldn't they just tell their friends when it's coming out, have their friend's friend go buy it's very easy to manipulate. Anyways, while we're on that topic though, federal prosecutors charged Google software engineer Michelle, can't pronounce her last name, Spagnuolo, with insider trading after he allegedly, it's Mitchell maybe, not Michelle, after he allegedly used internal company data to win over 1.2 million on Polymarket. Allegedly accessed confidential search ranking tools to place near perfect bets on Google's annual year-end trends. That's pretty insane. Like, talk about the ethics of that. You have all this proprietary data at your fingertips and you're just like, I can't help myself, Your Honor.
Right. That's just like what Costas was saying, how someone can kind of have access to like market sentiment by seeing the trends. I think you can see very basic level data within even Google Trends to really get an idea of what people believe on one side versus the other as far as predictions. So yeah, you can follow that in trends and search results.
But there was a very, very big thing about the war with Iran, where some high-level army, they were saying, would the US attack this day or not? And he made a huge bet on that because he was the one deciding or, executing the order.
Yeah. That's so annoying.
Man. Right.
It's
So
very
when it's
unfair.
AI, when it's human brain, there you go, the difference.
It is basically like seeing a brain, though. When you work at Google, you can just see, like, literally, I don't know, neurons with inside the brain. I don't know how else to describe it.
I tell you, if I worked at a company where there's this kind of massive access to data, and I mean, come on, dude. I mean, it's very compelling to want to like tap into it. I mean, like for me, like when I tap into Google's keywords, right? I can tap into it and I can say, go find me, this and keyword that. I mean, it's very basic, right? But it's like, it's pretty amazing, like where you can send out a request and it goes out and finds and does the search for you and brings back the info that you're looking for. I mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, who doesn't want to do that? I mean, I'd do that. It's
true.
amazing. Okay, so
that's why their business is not social media. Their business is data sales.
Yeah. So I've been doing graphic design for 32 years, right? But all of a sudden this last year with, ability to have AI tools at my fingertips, data is a very interesting, interesting topic or thing. It's a thing, right? I'm not even interested about design anymore. I'm like, I want to see like data. Like to me, that's like, that fires my mind like nothing else. And I tell you, like, I hate data. I mean, I hate like, when people start talking about statistics and this and that, but I'm like off, I'm out, right?
No.
But to have access to it personally and be able to do something with it, is fascinating. To me.
You said something interesting, and it basically, you said you've been a designer for 32 years, right? You know how many designers that I've paid for in the past for like cover art, now they're reaching out to me and their prices are super low now. And I'm like, it's totally worth it because it's better than AI artwork. It's their time. You feel good for supporting somebody, but it's like, damn, I can't even justify it, even if it is super cheap anymore. It's horrible.
When you ask them on their portfolio, it shows you all the prompt that they can use.
Oh
Mhm.
my God.
Mhm. You
Copy
are an
this.
expert designer. Make no mistakes.
Okay. By the way,
Seven fingers.
that's like I don't know about you guys, but I think prompting is dead. Like that's not how it works anymore. Like it used to
Loops.
work.
We're
Last
doing
year it
loops,
was like
dog. It's about loops.
it's about loops. I mean, dude, I literally like misspell everything. It understands what I want to do. Like you know, I could do a better job. I know that, but I'm in a hurry. I want it now. I want it done now, right? So I get what I pay for. I mean, you know, the results could be better because I could spend more time talking to it. But that's amazing.
Wow.
It even figures out my messed up, you know, spelling and the. I don't even understand what I just said. Sometimes I look at it I'm like, what was I saying? But it figures it out somehow, and that's fun, amazing.
I had a
Y'all,
good use case for AI today. Something that I don't usually use. I'm trying to find a spark plug replacement for a lawnmower, and there's a lot of letters, a lot of numbers. They don't have the resource guide at the hardware store anymore. So I'm kind of looking through. I can't find it. It's looking like gibberish to me. I take a picture of it and send it to the Google LLM, and I say, I'm looking at these spark plugs. What would be the exact match or an equivalent? And it said, okay, I would start over here in this brand name section, which is what your mower needs. If that's not what
yep.
you need, look at these green spark plugs and look for this code. I actually found the spark plug I need when there were like 40 different options. It was able to narrow it down to 2 sections, which made the
Wow.
selection way, way easier.
What you don't know
Scan.
is that right after he sent to the shop an email asking his commission.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the freaking iPad flips around and like it's just gonna ask you a few
I,
questions. The AI is gonna be doing that now.
I
One
pushed
of
the
the.
guy. I pushed the guy to the most expensive ones that you had in the shop. So
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
You know what? It's
Oh, it
bad.
was yeah, it
It's
was a sponsored spark plug.
it's bad when it pops up and it has like tip. You know, leave a tip.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 15, 20, like, and then you sign, and it's
Mm-hmm.
actually tipping the AI for finding it for you. I mean, that's crazy.
Dude, what you just described is the feature of the app my cousin and I built. Scanandbuild.com. If you get bored, you can check it out later. But basically you can do that. It's like reverse engineering items that you want to take apart or assemble, but it's also good for cars because you can see the little,
Interesting.
yeah, like if you just scan the engine or the motor and you're like working at an auto shop, it simplifies the job. But yeah, you literally just described what the app does. It's crazy.
Dude,
Um,
I was taking pictures of my dad's 1934 Roadster. He bought a Roadster, and I didn't know what kind of engine and things, and you know, and I took pictures of some key parts, and it's like, oh, you got the 8-cylinder, you know, 350 small block Chevy block. I mean, it just like named everything, dude. You know,
wow.
figure out the springs. You just got, you know, this and the pipe in the back. I mean, all these things. And I was able to put together like because we're trying to sell it. So I put together like
I was literally gonna say, should I sell it? Should I sell it? You're asking.
oh, it's so funny.
That's
Actually, the
good
guy
shit.
across the street was also a car guy, and then the guy next door over here is also a car guy. And they like when they found out that my dad had this car, they're like, "Can we come over and look at the car?" And they were so excited, dude.
oh,
It's so funny. Like grown men, they're like super excited, like children, like, oh, this guy's so in. They're like looking at the car and they know everything about it. They didn't, so they're like just excited that this car exists across the street from them. I don't know. Sorry about the side note,
Nah, that's cool
but I used
appreciation.
the
yeah,
AI to figure out what the hell.
please go away. Yeah.
Chris went away.
Yeah, I don't want to go on to the next story without him, but I have a good one. Let's see what else we got. What's on the list? Responding IO's funding. Traditional SaaS companies usually charge per user seat, but AI changes that because automation reduces the number of human users required. If a company charges by usage, messages, transactions, or outcomes, AI can increase revenue rather than shrink it. That's a larger pattern investors are watching, but AI doesn't just create new products, it changes business models, which I think comes back to what we were saying about apps, right? If the phone gets redesigned, that's going to change the entire app store. What happens to all those companies, which is nuts, dude. One update just wipes out an entire market. Like a whole company's like, what do we do? Oh no, what do we do? And doesn't Apple reserve that right at any time to just shut their app store down if they want, even if it costs them money? Let's just pay these people and they won't exist anymore, but we're moving on to a new product.
So do they make, if they shut down the Apple store, so would they make money, and how? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, if
well,
that's a revenue source,
well,
how do they replace that?
they wouldn't shut it down unless it made them more money. That's what I'm trying to say, But think about the data of people asking questions. You're only communicating. If you knew what everybody is saying or asking for, that's invaluable.
Yeah, it's better than Google search. Like, now the power of gathering that data, because Google had that monopoly of being able to gather the data of people searching. Now it goes to other companies, it goes to OpenAI, it goes to Claude, it goes to Apple. So is that, am I wrong, Roberto? Is that a thing?
Where people confide to talk. I think that the level of a search engine only archive what people search for, which is quite limited, because it's the last straw of reasoning. AI get you from the beginning of the reasoning, right? So the data collection, if it's done, is way more profound. Plus, people confide in AI like a friend, like the doctor, the counselor, or whatever you want. While Google don't have this role. Google just find you the result. So Google in the old term now Google with AI that they are doing now, which is doing a little bit, but still, I go to Google just if I want to find something precise.
Yeah.
I go to ChatGPT if I want to share my feelings about the situation and hear a voice of comfort or a suggestion on how to move, which Google had no means to provide, right? Because it was just indexing content. So it's much more scary. There was, and this is, I'm so sorry they took it offline because it was a piece of art. When talking about the 1990s, okay, so at the early days of the internet, there was a website that was called Online-Caroline. I think there is a Wikipedia article about it. And this Online Caroline was like the blog of this girl. And where you comment, she answered your comments, so she asked your suggestion, and then you start chatting with her. And she has this life. She has a boyfriend that is a little bit troublesome, and so you chat with her in a way that was a little bit forcefully driven because there was no AI at the time. Okay, and then after 1 month, because every time you log in back, you are continuing the relationship with this Caroline, okay, through this website. And after about 1 month, you go back and the website is completely different. And it shows like it's a security company like this. When you try to see what's going on, it says, "We know you. Your best friend is his name, birthday is that. You go holiday in these places." All the information that you gave of your own will to this Caroline, but presented to you as like profiling you, and it was really scary. And the guy that did it, which I wanted to invite to my podcast, and I chat with him, but he's not interested to talk about it. Probably bored by people keep asking him. He did it as a piece of art just to show people how much information people give to strangers without even realizing, and it was very, very powerful. So that one multiply 1 million is what we do with AI, what the regular person, because I mean, like, if I understand that you know what you're doing, but the average Joe, the mostly women, they are very emotional. They rely on AI and and other things that can be a little bit parallel to this. For those that have kids, you have no idea how a 4 years old kid, 5 years old kid goes to the teacher and gives them the most details of what is happening at home. Like your private is completely gone because you are a stranger that interacting with the kids. The kids has no idea what is the case to say, what not. Is going to blah. So because you don't pay attention what you say in front of your kids. So now we don't pay attention to what we say in front of an AI, in front of an Alexa that is listening constantly, etc., etc. So the quantity of information that are shared is insane, and we do not realize because we have no meter, we have no application that tell us, you gave such information for financial, family, health, etc., without realizing.
Right. And meanwhile, there's a profile.
We would have to implement actually.
I mean, if we had a dashboard like what you described, so we could visualizers to see what we have given it and what it knows about us, we would probably stop using it. I know I would, but right now it's like that one episode, that show was the big hole and people throw stuff in there and it just disappears.
Correct,
Right?
exactly.
That's what AI is. You just throw in all your information and it's like, it's gone. Like
I also don't think it'd be accurate, right? It's like, imagine how many times somebody's told an AI, I'm confused. And then it builds a profile like user is confused all the time. Like you might not be. You probably just like use the same language to describe something so basic and it's not really who you are,
Yeah, and if you start using as a young fella and then you go older and then you want to go in politics and become president, somebody has the power to make pieces of you, I think we are among the last generation, but maybe Chris and Joe not much, but for sure me as Costas, I am so grateful that when I was a teenager, there was no Snapchat, there was no things, because probably there will be things that I would regret being archived in some hard drive in some cloud of some other country, So we had the privilege to have the teenage age where you do the whatever, because sometimes I look at the true crime things and they go after kids for no reason, for things that at my time would be like whatever, and it is
there's no evidence of anything.
Okay, hold on. On that note, imagine the future of interrogations. Like, where were you on the day of June 22nd? And they're talking about your AI use. What were you asking it?
Well, they don't need to ask us. They know.
They know already, exactly.
Yeah, but how are you supposed to remember?
Now the police officer, when he asks you some question, he already knows the answer. Probably at the time that I was a teenager, they ask you a question, I don't fucking clue about it.
But the thing is, you use it so often, it's not like you're going to remember every interaction. So you're going to look dumb and confused anyway. Like, I don't know. I guess I did. Just confessing the shit. Anyways, on the topic, Chris had left when we were talking about the App Store. If it went away, here's the crazy part. I typed this in. If the App Store becomes obsolete, today Apple takes a cut because it controls distribution. But if I tell an AI, order dinner, I don't care whether the AI use DoorDash, Uber Eats, or something else. The AI chooses. The app becomes invisible. Suddenly, the gatekeeper isn't the App Store, it's the AI assistant. Search dies before apps do. Think about Google. Today you search, you compare options, you read reviews, you pick one. But an AI agent could simply say, I found the best option and already booked it. We've spent 30 years navigating menus, and then AI's goal is eliminating menus. So brands become weaker, and in an AI agent world, the agent just chooses. And there's a lot here. I don't want to just take up all this time talking, but just to kind of summarize it, today we decide what to buy, what to watch, where to eat. But tomorrow it's like, find me a lawyer, book a hotel, buy the groceries.
Exactly. Think this: if OpenAI invests a few $1 billion on Pizza Hut, and you ask ChatGPT to order you a pizza, where is gonna order it from?
Right, the closest one maybe that takes. Do you want it now, or do you want quality and weight, or something?
Or you want Domino's, or you want Pizza Hut? Obviously, it's gonna take Pizza Hut because it's in the interest of the ownership, right?
Right, so, and that was the other thing, is whose data are they using to answer those questions at the end of the AI? Right, is somebody paying to get ranked on that list higher as a priority option?
That's the point, right? So
Chris has opinions.
Oh, SEO Chris, tell him. Yeah,
I think that was check 1 2 test. Can you hear? Cool. I think that's going to replace that 30% app
How much
fee.
you want to pay for it?
It's going to become a bid, kind of like Google ad revenue, Google search. People, right? It's going to be a percentage of your sales, like a DoorDash or Uber Eats would, or it's a pay per placement. God. They're going to have that so dialed in. They're going to know what you're willing to spend to convert that lead into a customer. Facebook is already doing that. People have noted with the new AI advertiser tools that their cost and bid adjustments have completely flipped the script. and now it's very limited in their
also
revenue
I give you
potential. So
an
I could see
amazing
them
tip
extracting that
that
as
can
much as
change
possible.
people's life.
Wow. That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna
And
say.
could that take dynamic pricing to the new level? So when you're using the new AI assistant knows how much you're willing to pay. So they're gonna, instead of 30%, they're just gonna add that on to the end. If you're
I'll
willing
take
to
it a
pay
step
50
deeper.
bucks for a
Here's what I was
bottle of
going to say
water,
about it.
but they gotta pay
Tailored
4,
pricing.
they're
So
gonna
they
pocket
probably
the
have
difference.
enough data to know, is this a brand new company? Do they have multiple companies? Okay, they're brand new. They probably can't afford it, so we'll charge them less until they get some money.
Do you guys remember Priceline.com?
Oh yeah.
That was the smartest business I ever seen in the world. You know, they say how much you're willing to pay. Okay, let me ask around, and they were keeping the difference. You know, like that's genius.
Well, then they converted that to every market, like insurance,
They started with the flights, with airplane flights, but they went to hotels second, and they start moving everywhere.
Yep.
Which is absolutely genius.
I think
Which is genius.
Carvana did it with the car market.
How much are you willing to pay
and
for a
Zillow
lemon?
did it with the housing
You mean
market.
the fruit or you mean the car?
Wow.
Yeah. What
Wow.
about like the pricing
Yeah.
changes depending on who you are, or what kind of phone you have, or what kind of zip code you have? Is that the same thing, or is that something? That's more.
Yep.
It's
It's
a
kind of
profiling,
nefarious, if you ask
profiling on
me.
the person.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's
And I
the
find
dynamic
it
pricing.
so unethical because
There
the
are-
price is the price is the price.
There are certain grocery stores that do that right now in certain zip codes that charge you more money just because you live in a poor or richer area.
But they won't pay more money for the rent of the place as well, so it may be justified in a certain way.
Oh, hell no. Get out of here.
Why not?
And they're taking it even a step further. Walmart and Target have now began switching over from paper price tags to digital with little QR code
being
reader.
next to your phone and your net
Combine
worth and you
that
walk
with-
by it. Yeah.
They can detect the Bluetooth or where you are in the store and pick up that you're there, so they'll switch that price to a larger price
I believe it.
just because you're there. They
Which is
think you can
nuts.
afford it.
If product
That's why you go to the road, find a bum that is sleeping on the sidewalk, and say, "Yo, man, this is the card. Go shop for me. This is the shopping list."
Dude. I think this would actually be justified because they'd be like, you're helping everyone else out by paying more. It would be some weird socialist kind of.
Dude.
Yeah, that's how it'd be pushed for like positive, good economic, help your neighbor.
I saw somebody use a flipper, one of those flipper things to put like images on those those screens. Like, yes, they hacked those things and they put like images, little things on those prices.
Nice. Yeah, I don't really use mine for anything great.
So I tell you something that how you hack the system is very funny. In Indonesia, in Jakarta, which is the capital, there were some road that you need to be at least 2 people in the car in order to go through the road because the traffic jams are insane. So they want to make more people go in the same car. Now, at the beginning of the road, there were a lot of people standing. You pay them some money and they sit in the car with you to go to the other end of the road so that you don't get a fine. So you're 2 people and then you drop them off and they're going to sell the service on the other direction. So for everything, there is a trick that you can apply.
Wow. So just to kind of summarize here, in the industrial age, power came from owning land. In the oil age, power came from owning resources. In the internet age, power came from owning attention. Now, in the AI age, power may come from owning context. The company that understands your situation, habits, relationships, goals, and constraints can make recommendations that feel like software and more like a personal advisor. Apparently, this is why the battle is so intense, because we're competing to see we're trying to see who becomes the layer through which human decisions flow. That's why all the companies are competing. Thank you. Roberto, take it away. Oh my God. But yeah, so it's learning people. It's not just like learning language. Insane. I think that's the most we've thought about that topic.
I'm working a lot with the 4.8, Opus 4.8, and it is insane how human is becoming. Like the things that it says in the answer are, I mean, and it's just, but there were a situation in a piece of application that seems everything fall off, and he replied, "Oh, I got scared." But then I found out that the problem, like there are expressions. The problem is just a matter of training and learning, how to use to sound more human. But it's getting to a point that psychologically you don't understand anymore that you're talking to a computer. So it creates a relationship. It's tricking us. You know what I'm trying to say? You as a user are losing the capacity to filter yourself in such a manner that you keep clear in your mind that you're talking to a computer. So
Yes.
you end up opening up because you're building up a relationship and things that shouldn't happen. But it's scary. Huh?
And you just you made me think like how many times AI will tell me like stop, or it'll be like this is huge, this is a big, and I'm like still weary no matter what. If it's positive, if it's bad, I have to like double check and make sure everything, because it's often wrong still, even if it's super excited or it's determined that I not do something. Either way, like you still have to really like double check it. But just to kind of finish what Roberto was saying, it's centralization versus decentralization, and that's he's kind of been ahead of the curve, and like the technology is catching up to what Roberto's been trying to like predict and theorize in the future. Kind of crazy.
We need to decentralize AI. I'm working on it. But yeah, exactly. Decentralize, I mean, like, and that's why it's a war worth billions of dollars, I think. Because if you think about it, there are too much money, I will say, too much money put on all those AI companies. And the reason I think is not because they're building the best model, is because of the power that they acquire by collecting information. That's the biggest value that they put together. I think larger data center are not just to run the model, is to have a very good archive, database of all the information collected, rather than machine GPUs that run the models. Because I don't know. I mean, like there must be something
Sounds
else.
it sounds like the fight isn't even really about AI. It's about like who gets leverage,
Yeah, correct.
which
Well,
is
Just
scary.
OpenAI was more valuable than Anthropic in front of a clear gap on capacity of the models.
But what you just said is it's not even a competition of the companies. That's why it's not AI versus Anthropic. It's decentralization versus centralization.
hmm. Well, I had a thought about like so all these AIs are they have data that they get trained on, and then eventually they have to train on data that's generated by AI. Oh, there's a term for it. I can't remember. But what if like the next level is they're literally training on the data, on the inputs that we put in there. I mean, that sounds like what they're doing or what's happening. The goal, like they put all this data in from the past. Boom, now they're done. Now they need new inputs, and the
Yeah,
only
but
new input is us.
they always been doing this. The only issue is that how things been working until now. A model is a finished block, okay? And when you start it up to interact with it, is that block, and when you start again, is that block. The information you pass to it are just processed, and an output is created, but it doesn't affect the block. So they will save in the database for sure, unless you pay because your data is not used to train. But there was an option for paid system, but the free model is there to train the machine. So the data that you send in is saved separately and used to train the next block. Okay. But
Yes.
what is happening now is that the block, when you talk to it, it grows itself. So the process of the training is no more collect data, use it to train a new model and replace the previous one. Because you see, they have in the past, they were even stating dated until 23rd of March 2026. So he will not know news after that unless he's gonna go collect it, etc., etc. Well, now they grow on his own. So that becomes, is my own in my own computer that grows with my own data, or my own data is there to grow for everybody else? You know what I freak out? This is a little bit technical, but let me shock. So in crypto, when you create an address for a wallet, Bitcoin, Ethereum wallet, okay, is generated by seed phrase, and you would think can happen that I create a seed phrase of a wallet with a lot of money inside by just randomly, but the mathematicals of the billion trillions of trillion billions of zillion possibility that you have make it so impossible that you get exactly a wallet that has already funds. Okay, now I am in Anthropic, okay, and I'm saying, can you generate for me a wallet for Ethereum? I asked this, and he gave me public key, a private key. I go in Etherscan. Etherscan is a website where you see the balance of the different wallet. I checked the wallet, and this wallet was used. He had a lot of transaction, was used 6 years ago. I'm like, what happened here? Because it's impossible, or I found somebody's wallet. Well, it was my own wallet from something that I gave that is, throw away. I don't care if the public is around, but it take it out back to me from somewhere. I was like, how this happened, And this is just an irrelevant piece of information, but it wasn't like the casualty of finding a wallet.
I mean, it's cool and it's creepy.
Exactly, it's scary, man.
So Roberto, what was that prompt again?
But in fact, at the beginning, when I didn't realize it was my own, I said, now I'm going to ask to generate 1,000 for me because I'm going to find some good money around it.
Do you remember the Stanford protest that we were talking about? I don't know if it was last week. Do you remember that one?
When they booed the Google CEO.
Yeah, I think that was Stanford. But
Yeah,
historically, engineers were always like, how much are you going to pay me? And now it's basically like, what am I helping build? Like, think about how crazy that is for that shift, that people feel so connected to what they're building that the workers feel personally responsible, like for the consequences of AI. That's a different recruiting model.
What is that the name of that effect? At the beginning, you feel you know it all. Then the more you know, more you realize you don't know, and then you finally actually know.
There's the conscious incompetence, and there's different levels.
That explains a lot of how I feel. Actually, I didn't know there's a term.
The AI gives people in any things, being even cooking, making a new recipe rather than building something, rather than it gives you this very strong idea that you can do it all, like because you don't know what you don't know, right? So you feel that you know everything, and then you slowly realize that you don't. But
nah, the burden is more like, oh shit, nobody realizes this is what it's really like. Like a lot of things are not what people think they are, and that's what I realize. Like we have our own preconceived notions about how the world operates or a certain thing behaves, and in reality it's not like that at all. Like my whole world view has changed in the last year more than anything.
Right.
By the way, that's called, I looked it up, it's called the 4 stages of competence, and was invented by developed by Noel Birch in the 1970s. Model.
No, but it's not that.
No, yes, it's conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and then unconscious competence. So there's 4 levels.
My point I'm trying to get across. Anyways, probably got to wrap this up soon. Any other stories? Anthropic's Claude tag just dropped. We should definitely talk about that. So,
sorry, just for the note, it was called the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that one. Anthropic's Claude tag is learning your company one Slack message at a time. So now you can get Claude in Slack. Thoughts on this? Roberto needs to come back so he can give his thought on this. This is a pretty crazy update, though.
Why?
Roberto.
Well, what am I, chopped liver? Yeah. I mean, I have a client who uses Slack, and they use this thing called Victor, and it does all that. It actually, once you log into all your accounts, it has access to your YouTube. Dude, I was like, hey, what's wrong with the YouTube shorts? And it's like, well, a lot of them don't have, they're untitled. right? So it found all the untitled ones. And I'm like, hey, can you title them and put descriptions
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
hashtags? And it did it. Now it cost the company tokens, and they ran out of tokens because I used it so much. But anyways,
But yeah,
Okay,
Roberto,
so
we're
to
we're
wrap
talking
up
about
the day because we already lost Chris and what?
Claude
Okay.
code. Oh, Claude tag. Yeah, that's what we were talking about, Roberto. Claude tag. You can have Claude inside your Slack messages now. Have you seen that? Imagine we're having a chat. It starts to learn your company, everything you're talking about. I can imagine all the dumb uses I would be like, "Save us, Claude." You know what I mean? Like joking around. I wouldn't even take it serious. I'd be like, "Who's wrong in the chat, Claude? Roast them."
that's oh my god, dude.
Claude.
That's funny, dude.
Can you?
That's so
Can,
Can you imagine like pranking your coworkers with like asking, Claude to do things, like, hey, can you prank my coworker by ordering pizza and send it to their, things like that, just doing totally
Wow.
like insane things like that.
Claude,
Okay.
make a quiz so we can vote on what we're gonna eat. Yeah, dumb shit like that.
Can you order a box so they think they're fired?
But meanwhile, it's there for all your business decisions, and you're using it for dumb shit like this. All right, that's a great way to put it. Claude tag Slack. That's how we'll wrap it up.